What we are also now going to do in relation to training is to ensure that we take on these projects whereby the bilaterals that we are having with overseas, Canada especially, and United States of America, to ensure strengthening Guyanese criminal justice system. And as part of this year's program and plan to ensure that we train more, we are having from what is called a Justice Education Society, this training that is going to last 2 years.
Welcome to Guyana, ladies and gentlemen. We've just landed at the Charlie Jagan International Airport.
The goal of our project is to strengthen the Guyanese criminal justice system by developing the capacity of the police, prosecutors, and magistrates to identify, collect, and work with evidence.
I'm going to show you Major Case Management. It is a tool we use, it's a system we use to complete our investigations. It's nothing fancy, it really is just common sense.
Suspect information, victim information, witness information, crime scene information, photographs.
Over the next 2 weeks, you're going to be learning things in relation to how to accurately process video for forensic analysis. Video right now, without a doubt, it is the largest amount of evidence that's out there. It far surpasses all the other kinds of evidence available, by far.
Actually, I personally did not know about Jess before this engagement, but when I checked after we were first engaged and saw the type of work that Jess has done in the Latin American, Central American countries and so on, I'm really, really impressed.
And one of the things that I'm excited about here is the video evidence, and in terms of building capacity in force and infrastructure that we can actually move on in contemporary time.
It's an area that we've been feeling miserably because we are unable to go back and check to verify. There are lots of times that things slips us because we tend to just make a note. What I like about the task log is that it's systematic. Things will not miss you that easy. And then in court, you could 5, 6, 10 years later, you could go back and say why you did not do it, rather than to stand in the box and say, I cannot recall.
We basically needed some assistance in terms of analyzing those video images, and we were actually looking externally for assistance. So this is a blessing in disguise, in that the Justice Education Society, they came forward and we were able to tell them about our difficulties with the unit in terms of doing our video evidence analysis. The training that you're about to receive is going to assist you, is going to aid you in terms of your investigation. Every aspect of your investigation, always keep in mind these principles that the facilitator is going to teach you, and that is the major case management.
I believe from the investigative stage, once they understand what sort of evidence is relevant, what they need to collect, how they need to preserve it, and present it to the court, then they'll be able to actually present a better case to the court and go for more convictions.
We will give you more facts each day as we go along, and how we're going to progress with our crime scene and document.
Well, what I'm hoping that it will do, and from what I heard that it's supposed to do, would be to help them to develop their skills in order to do, in terms of their investigation. But would help us tremendously, because the biggest problem that we have with them is when we receive the files from them and we have to go to court, it's the lack of evidence that's in the file. And a lot of the time, it's not because the evidence doesn't exist. I think it's the amount of time and work and effort that they're putting into it. So if they could learn to develop the skills, put more time, put more effort into it, do a more thorough investigation, it would give us a much more complete picture to go to court with. It would give us a lot more evidence to deal with and basically just give us a much better chance for the best outcome that we could possibly get.
Crime and security are the main concerns of the business community in Georgetown. In fighting crime, everyone has a part to play. The police, the judicial system, we the citizens have a part to play. So once it's a holistic approach, I think there can be success. In being a part, in calling the emergency number, whether it be a 911 system or whatever, in testifying, in talking to their peers, in sharing with their neighbors and their children as to what are the do's and don'ts. Because like I said earlier, we all have a part to play in the whole justice system.
The new Commissioner of Police, Commissioner Silal, is actually working very hard in terms of attempting to bridge the community, the relationship with the communities and the police. And he's also working very hard to ensure that the integrity of the policemen are maintained. And we are seeing some of that, but I believe he's still got an uphill task. Now that, of course, also transcends itself into the judicial system, because if a person is wrongfully charged and then they go to the court system, again, now this is public confidence, and the magistrate or judge have not done the kind of due diligence of the charge and the circumstances of the charge, and then because the police prosecutors are not trained and they're not lawyers, and so you have sometimes constables and corporals and sergeants going up against lawyers in the court, and that sometimes causes that balance of justice to be imbalanced.
On the question of whether I see value in the JES approach, my ready answer, unhesitatingly, is yes. And what stands out for me is your diagnostic approach. What are the problems? Because you cannot implement measures without knowing what confronts you. And that is to be commended in the JES approach. But also of appeal to me is the emphasis on sustainability of what is implemented. The benefits that flow from devising a program that will sustain itself are tremendous. There is no use, in my view, of addressing a problem, suggesting a measure that will address the problem, which is lost in a year or two.
There has to be commitment from the investigators. Those investigators has to be committed and to buy in to this project.
It's good initiative, pointed, useful, helpful to us, right timing and everything else. But what makes it great, the icing of the cake here, is the continuity. We are going out and tell the public that we are building capacity. When we say to them that we want to be a professional force, our target, that is our target, to build a professional force. Introduction of developing world standards helps them to believe that yes, this is where the police force is going, this is the kind of police force that they want.